Happy New Year to YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I'm sorry, but I haven't done many of these videos recently. My PC was out of action, but today the PC's been fixed. It was a problem with the cooling fan. Anyway, we're going to get back to the videos today. Anyway, today we're going to show something slightly different. So today we're going to show what I've shown. For those that don't know me in person, I'm much of a physical video game collector. I collect most of my games I like are physical. But today we're going to go into new territory. I'm going to try and show you. So I'm using Streamlabs to show you. I'm going to show you a bit of my digital collection. This might be a first episode. So today's episode, we're going to focus on my collection of games on Steam. So for those that don't know Steam is probably the biggest platform for the digital distribution of PC games. Anyway, we're going to show you a little bit of, well, we're going to show you my entire Steam collection, and we're going to show you a little bit about, for those that come from the console side, a bit more about the Steam interface and that, and hopefully it comes out well, and hopefully you enjoyed Christmas and the New Year, and we're going to have more videos this year, and I aim to get back to as normal. All right, so this is going to be the main. This is my profile on Steam. This is me. This is my name. Blah blah blah. So this is my avatar. It's called. It's from Call of Cthulhu. For those who don't know, Call of Cthulhu is a role-playing game based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft. So right, this is my main page. So this is showing my profile. So I have badges. So badges, for those that don't know, are basically Steam's way. They're a bit like achievements in some ways, but basically you build up badges and they build up your profile level, and basically you try and get your profile level to higher. So these are a bit of my badges. Some of them have different levels. There's the level 5 badges. You basically build them up by getting trading cards. The cards are basically gained from when you spend money on Steam, which is most things, and they go into making these badges, and you get various different rewards and stuff. So I've got 16 badges. I have 179 games in my account. This is my Steam review. I'll show you a bit more in a minute. So that's basically what games I played in the year 2023. What games are people playing at the moment? Let me know in the comment section. Also, how many games do you have in your Steam library in particular? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And you say, my name's Matthew. This is Matthew Hawker Gaming. Thanks for tuning in. Right, this is my Steam review. I'll show you in a minute. So I've been on Steam for 4 years. So it's not long for many people, but Steam's been going since about 2010, somewhere around then, I think it was, 20, somewhere around that. Anyway, I've been on for 4 years. Right, that's the badge collector. So what my DLC, I've got 248 pieces of DLC, my review. You can review games and wishlist games. This is my activity, so this is what I've been playing recently. So this one I just turned on to test something to do with the streaming features. Anyway, I've played 28.2 hours in the past 2 weeks, mostly because my PC hasn't been with me. I played Legend of the Keepers and Grindstone and Mini Masters, which is one of my most played games. Right, so let's go into I'll show you my Steam review to start with, and then we'll show you. So this is my Steam review. And we say this is how many things. So I've got 46 new games in 2023. Oh, it's 2024 now, isn't it? So 66 games played total. I unlocked 567 achievements on 51 games, and 80 of them are rare. I played 46% of my playtime was with keyboard and mouse, and 54% is with controller, because I like playing certain games with controller and certain ones with keyboards and mouse, as you will see in a minute. My main gameplay was 25% of my playtime was Mini Masters. I'll explain a bit more about Mini Masters in a minute. I've done videos on the game as well. Hogwarts Legacy, 8%, 17 sessions played, and Night of the Full Moon, which is like a deck building game, which I've done a video on as well. If you want to know a bit more about either of those two, Mini Masters or Night of the Full Moon, I've done videos on them. 8% of my playtime, 20 sessions played. So I unlocked 567 achievements. I played 66 games. I played 11 days in a row was my longest streak in a row. 19% of game were new releases, games in 2023, and the rest was 9%. I played lots of that's my breakdown of genre of kind of game, but they're a bit washy. The creature collector, card battlers, magic, and like theme. These are my badges. Don't really need to look about that. Mini Masters. I've got 700 hours on that game. Hogwarts Legacy. And then once I've shown this, I'm going to go through my catalogue of Steam games. I've divided them into categories: Soulstone Survivors, Monster Hunter. Haven't played that for a while. Next one's due out in 2025. Those were Controller. And those were the games I played. Right, so let's go back to my library and we're going to show you. Okay, so basically on Steam you can categorize your games. You basically click on the game and then you can click add to collection, and then you can add them various different categories. So I'll go through my specials as well. So at the moment we're going to start with my favourites, which are my favourite games. Okay, so we'll start with Don Patchy Resurrection. So this is a shmup. It's a bullet hell shmup by Cave. I've only got 7.7 hours on this game, but this is one of my favourite shooters in ways, and I recommend it to everyone. And the Steam version has all the DLC from the Xbox version. It has the Black Label arrange modes that were available separately as DLC in the main game. And why I've only got 7 hours on this version, because I've played it on the previous versions on the Xbox, and I have only got 7 hours on this version, although I've got 60 or 70 hours on this. Anyway, Don Patchy Resurrection, one of my favourite shooters, and this here I've done various videos on my physical shmups, and I've shown the game on that in physical version, and I like nearly all the Cave shooters, and that's a really good one. Right, so we'll get on to start with a... Oh, can I click on this? Yeah, so we'll go for it this way. So this is the first. So this is going to be the first of the card games to feature. So this is Eternal. So okay, this Eternal is a digital TCG. It's similar to Magic the Gathering. The difference between this and Magic the Gathering is, although Magic the Gathering is now available on Steam, the Eternal is a lot more free to play friendly than that game. The way how you get the cards and that are a lot better on Eternal. Although the game is very similar to Magic, and as I say, those that know me in person, I'm a big Magic player. I also do various Magic videos for YouTube as well, and various other Magic the Gathering content and pack openings. So I'm not averse to playing Magic. I just play more in the physical. Anyway, Eternal is a lot more free to play friendly. Say my friend is, I don't know if he's playing it at the moment. I think he was playing it earlier today. Anyway, I've got 500 hours on Eternal. It's a lot more free to play friendly, as the way you get the cards. You get a booster for every. You get a booster a day for just winning a game, or for winning your first game, and then you get some things for every match wins you get, and you get your rewards and seasonal stuff. Anyway, you can craft the cards. Magic, you can't craft the cards, is the gist of it, and you have to get lucky on getting wild cards. With this, you can just craft the thing outright for resources. Anyway, Eternal, a very good TCG. And very free to play friendly, probably the second most free to play friendly card game after Legends of Runeterra. I'd also recommend Legends of Runeterra, the Riot TCG, but it's not available on Steam, so it won't be in this video. And if it would, it will be in my top games anyway. Alright, then we go to Mini Masters. So let's go. So Mini Masters is basically my most played game on Steam. As it says, I have 739 hours on the game. I'm one achievement short of getting the maximum 38 achievements. So what is Mini Masters? Mini Masters is a tower defense game. It's similar in vein to Clash Royale on the mobile. The difference with Mini Masters is that the cards in the game, so on stuff like Clash Royale, the cards level, so they gain hit points and various stat buffs when they go up a level. On Mini Masters, the cards do not level as they go up levels. They only increase your season renown. So that's basically all they do. So they basically only get card frames and stuff. So they don't. They just increase the ways to get EXP and gold and stuff in the game. They don't gain you any more hit points and stuff. So if you're playing with the card, it's at the same level as everyone. So it's a lot easier for people and a lot more friendly to the free-to-play players. The game has just gone through a big patch though, and we're now in what's called Mini Masters 2.0. If you're interested in checking out other Mini Masters content, I'd recommend Bad as a Fish 80 on YouTube, and also big up to my guilder We Are Barry. So Mini Masters, a really good tower defense game. It's one of the more free-to-play friendly varies of this kind of genre, and it is a right. So that's Mini Masters for you. Alright, and then we've got Mushi Sama. So Mushi Sama is another cave shooter. I've also shown so this is the first of the series. There's Mushi Sama and Mushi Sama Futari. So it's another. Sorry, I'm just sneezing. Yeah, so Mushi Sama is the first in the Mushi series. It's a cave shooter. I haven't played this one as much as Mushishima Futari, which is the sequel. So this game originally came out on the PS2, but this is the version that is available on Steam. Anyway, it's a beautiful bullet hell style of shooter. It's set in a nice fantasy world, which most shooters don't really focus on the fantasy theme so much. So I've played the other one more than this one, but this one is really good, and I would recommend it. Right, so then we can move on to Soulstone Survivors. So Soulstone Survivors is basically a twin stick shooter. It's in a fantasy setting. I've played it 40 hours, so it's basically one of my favourite twin stick style of shooters. So it's similar invaders, stuff like Geometry Wars and that, if people want to go into those kind of things. I mean, you say it basically is or it's also similar to Vampire Saviors. Vampire Saviors is quite popular at the moment. I think Soulstone Survivors has a lot more to it. As you level up lots of things, you basically have it's similar to like Diablo crossed with a twin stick shooter. You have crafting and you craft various things. There's a lot of like various difficulty modifiers you can add to your run and stuff. So it's suitable for all kinds of players, and you basically will get something out. So you can go from being quite easy to quite hard. I've also done a video on Soulstone Survivors if you want to check that out. Yeah, so 3 of these games I've featured before in a video, which you can also check out on YouTube. I've done Eternal, Mini Masters, and Soulstone Survivors. I'll probably do Donpachi and that at some other point in the future. Okay, so we'll move on to the next category. So I've got Capcom games. I'm not going to be able to tell you about most of these. I haven't played them. I picked them up in the sales. Steam is well known for its sales. There's one currently going on at the moment, so I'm picking up all the games when they're reduced price. So I've got all the Mega Man games. So I've got Mega Man Legacy Collection, Legacy Collection 2, Mega Man X Legacy Collection, Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2, ZX and ZX Collection. So those are the Game Boy Advance ones, I believe. Monster Hunter Rise. Well, Monster Hunter Rise I can tell you about. So Monster Hunter Rise is one of the best games it's the most recent game in the Monster Hunter series, and it's basically a great kind of. It's best played with friends, but though to be honest, because you gain a lot more for it. It looks really good though. It's one of the best looking games there is. Originally, it started life on the Switch, and then it was ported to PC. So I started with the Switch version, which I got some amount into, but it didn't look very good on the Switch. There was a load of jaggies and stuff like that. Now on the PC, this game looks really good, and it is. I've got 40 hours in this version. I do have all the I have the DLC in that. I haven't finished it. I think I've done the main game, but not all the additional content. All right, Monster Hunter, a great game. Do people prefer it to the other one, Monster Hunter? The other one, the previous one, I'm not really sure. I haven't really played that one that much. All right, then we've also got Monster Hunter, the Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. So this is Monster Hunter crossed with Pokemon. Anyway, that's a nice game as well. It's a combination between those two. If you like either of those two games or want to try something slightly different, I recommend that as well. That should probably be in the Monster Hunter. I've got a separate tab for Creature Collector as well. I'll show you those. All right, some of these I'm not going to be able to go into much detail. And now we go to card games. There are lots of them. Wrecking Dawn. So this is Andor Cards of Wonder. Don't remember anything much about it. Arcanum. So this is Arcanum. So Arcanum's good. So Arcanum. You see, I played it a few days ago. It's basically it's a roguelike deck builder kind of game, and you basically I can't really explain to you much about it, as you see, but I might do a video on it at some point. Anyway, I finished the arena mode only recently. It's quite difficult on that mode anyway, but that's only one of the modes in the game. Anyway, I'd recommend Arcanum. Right, then we got Artifact. I played that briefly, but it didn't work very well. It performed really poorly. One of Valve's worst performing games. And we've got Balatro. So this is a poker-like, roguelike thing. That's an early access demo Although, so someone I know has told me about that. Thanks, Max, for telling me about Ballatra. And anyway, it's like a poker roguelike. It's a way to describe it is you build your decks and you basically play various hands of poker, and you have basically kind of like a push your luck kind of mechanic thing. Anyway, Ballatra is interesting. Banners of Ruin, as I say, this is like it's another deck builder. It's got an animal kind of theme, so you've got mice, bears, and stuff like that. Also good. Dominion. So this is base. This is quite free to play friendly. Dominion. I think it's free and only the expansions cost anything. It's based on the successful board card game kind of thing. So Dominion is good. Dota Underlords, I have don't have that much time on that, so that's another auto chess thing. There's other auto chess games I prefer. There's also stuff like Teamfight Tactics. I prefer Hearthstone Battlegrounds and that to that game. Then we have more games. So Duelist, that was the original Duelist. And then you say that one's closed down, but now we've got Duelist 2. I haven't really played it that much. I know someone that likes it quite a lot. Got Dungeon 100. So this is a kind of. So Dungeon 100 is kind of like an auto chess game. The thing is, though, it's mainly done against the computer. Yeah, so it's like a single player auto chess game, is the best way to describe it. Eternal, it makes this thing, because some of them are in multiple things. We've got Fatal Core, which I think you had to organise the games yourself with that, so it's like another digital TCG, but you had to organise the matches on Discord. Sorry, I haven't really played it that much. Force Showdown. I'm not really sure why it's in. Oh yeah, I think I know why this category. So I put Force Showdown in this category because it's basically it's set in the same world as Minion Masters. There's also another game as well called Force. So this is basically this is a TCG, because basically you build a deck of cards, and then you're playing like what is like a twin stick shooter, and you basically it's a cross between a digital TCG and a twin stick shooter, in which you go through various levels and make your deck, and then it's got roguelike elements as well, so you could say it's a bit of a roguelike. I'll probably have that in a video. Gloomhaven, I've got so this is basically the adaptation of the board game. The board game weighs quite a lot. So this is Gloomhaven. I know one of my person I know basically worked on this game, and Misha, I know if you're watching, is say thank you for working and doing work on Gloomhaven. Alright, so now I'll try and go as quick as I can. I've got 100 games to go through. I'll say Grodin Quest, another roguelike, Griftlands, so that's another one. So it's more a science fiction one. The difference with Griftlands is there's more of a story element to it, and it's actually not a bad story. I haven't finished it. I've got Gwent, the Witcher card game. I've got Witcher as well. Infinity Wars, can't remember anything about it. Inscription. So Inscription's worth a bit of telling about, but I'm not going to spoil it. I haven't got a huge amount of time on it. So Inscription is basically a cross between a CCG card game, an escape room kind of scenario, and some horror elements. Anyway, I recommend Inscription, and then quite a lot of these games are going to be in the sale at the moment, which goes, I think it goes to the 4th. Night Witch, not sure why that's in the thing, that's more like a shooter. Some of these auto go into the categories once I've set up Dynamic Collection. Light Seekers, another CCG. Magic Spellslingers, that's Magic crossed with Hearthstone, which is a combination between those two games. It's not a bad game. It's not as good as real Magic. Marvel Snap, I didn't really get into it very much. I know lots of people that have. Some people play it on the phone. Some people play it on the desktop. It's okay to me. And we've got Marvel Midnight Sun. So that's basically it's more like it's a tactical RPG with characters from the Marvel universe. This is the best way to describe it. Got Minion Masters again. Monster Cards, can't remember much about that. Monster Train, that's one of the best Slay the Spire like card game things. That's got a more 3D kind of aspect to it, in which you have multiple levels and you have to defend the various floors of your train from the threats from various levels. Then we've got Moonstone Island. So this is, I don't know why it's in this collection. I'm just going to go through them as quick as I can. It shouldn't really be in this one. Moonstone Island is basically. Yeah, oh yeah, I do know why it's in this. It's because it's got elements from about 3 different games. So Moonstone Island, it only came out relatively recently. It's a cross between Harvest Moon, Slay the Spire, and it's got some Pokemon elements as well. So that's probably why it went into this category. Anyway, I'd recommend it. Got Mythgard, another TCG. Don't really know much about it. Night of the Full Moon. It's like another Slay the Spire kind of like game. I've got lots of time on that one. 60 hours. There's various different modes in it. Some are more like it's Slay the Spire. Some are more like auto chess, and there's also some other modes. It keeps getting updated. There's lots of content. It's fairly cheap as well. Oaken. I just picked that up in the sale. It's more like an RTS with some elements of TCGs in it. Then we've got Over Dungeon. So Over Dungeon, and so this is by Pocket Pair. So Pocket Pair are going to be slightly more well known soon because they are coming up with a new game which should be releasing this month, which is on my wish list. It's called Power World, which is basically going to be a game which is going to be like a cross between a Pokemon with guns. Supposedly it's also going to have some crafting elements to it as well. Anyway, back to Over Dungeon. Over Dungeon is best described as either similar to a Clash Royale or Minion Masters, but it has rogue-like elements because you build your deck as you go along and you do various runs against various different levels of boss. Anyway, there's some good animals in the game, and you say those that know me, I know I like my pets. My channel logo is my dog, which is a Shih Tzu, and my chinchillas. Just my new chinchillas. Check out my chinchilla video. They came basically were my new pets, and they arrived not long ago, and they just featured in a video. Right. Then we've got Peglin. So Peglin is basically a roguelike cross with a Pachinko game, which is more like a pinball kind of thing. And what was the thing? It'll come to me shortly. There's an older game on the Xbox. It reminds me of, and there's also another one, Prismata, another card game. Retropolis. That's like a RTS game with deck building and kind of elements, and it's got mice and rats. Rogue Book. So Rogue Book is by it's got Richard Garfield's name on it because I do Magic the Gathering content as well. So it's also got Richard Garfield's name attached to it. And you basically, unlike some of the other roguelikes, it has a map which you go around, and there's more control over the where you explore. There's more of an exploration element to it than some of the other games that don't really have a map and you can only go left or right. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a video on that at some point. And when you say I do basically what are called from a Magic player's perspective, some of these videos anyway, and those mainly focus on various other digital TCGs and roguelikes. I've done some on each. I'll aim to do some more. Right, so then we have Shadowverse, another digital TCG. Don't have a lot of time on it. Sketchcaller, I believe it was on my friend's playlist and I got the copy. Slay the Spire, that's just the base game. There's also an expansions and various things. The reason to Slay the Spire, for those that don't know, is one of the highest rated games on stuff like Metacritic and that. I mean, those I'll do a Slay the Spire video at some point. Bless me, I haven't been feeling that well recently, so I'm recovering. Right, so yeah, anyway, and the reason to get quite a lot of these games on Steam, I forgot to mention Rogue Book, I believe, is also available on the Switch, and a lot of these games are going to be in the sale. So Slay the Spire, the reason to get the Steam version is because it's very easy to mod the game, and if you go to the Steam Workshop, there are lots of mods available that add so much content to the game. And we've got Star Realm, which is based on the physical game. I got the physical game first and then got this. It's another, it's like a deck builder. SteamWorld, that's the rogue-like TCG kind of version of SteamWorld. There's also some other SteamWorld games. There's SteamWorld, the building one released recently. Storybook Brawl. Unfortunately, that game hasn't folded. We've got Warhammer, the digital TCG. Wild Frost, another very, very good game. I'm going to be quite and go quickly on this. World of Myth, not a lot there. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Duel Links, I can't remember. There's one of them is more recent than the other one. Right, so that's that category. Let's go on to the fighting games. Right, so these are all the fighting games I've got on the thing. A lot of them are by SNK, which made the Neo Geo. I mean, so for Christmas I picked up a Neo Geo multi-cart, so I've got a lot of Neo Geo games. I've got actually 2 real AES games as well. You say I've got original Samurai Showdown, the second one, and NAM 1975, my actual inverted commas AAS. I plan to try and show some AAS content at some point, but I haven't worked out really how to do it. Alright, I've got King of Fighters. I really say if people like the view from this angle more, so I don't have to go into them individually. So I've got King of Fighters 14, 15. Last Blade, so that's like a game. Last Blade is similar to Samurai Showdown, but not quite. Melted Blood, that's by Arc System Works. They're not all by SNK, these games. We've got Mortal Kombat 11. That's a good one. There's actually quite a lot of story in it. It looks pretty good, runs smoothly. There's a Mortal Kombat 1 that just came out, but I haven't got that one. I believe that's in the sale. This is Neo Geo Pocket Selection. I've put it in here. Not all the games on this are fighting games. There's some of the Metal Slugs on that on it as well. We've got Rushdown Revolt. Don't remember that much about this one. That's Samurai Showdown. That's the 3D one. And then you've got the original ones, which is a compilation of all the ones released on the Neo Geo. So that's Samurai Showdown 1 to 5. Sync Heroines Tag Frenzy. So that's basically a novice-friendly fighting game. Oh, for fighting games, did people use a joystick, pad, or other controller? I'm more a pad person myself. I do have an arcade stick as well, if that takes my fancy. Alright, Sync Heroines is all the people of all the heroines from Sync games mashed together, so you've got Athena and stuff like that. Alright, and it's a bit more beginner friendly. It's not a particularly seriously one. You've got Sync versus Capcom, the Neo Geo Pocket game, sorry. And then we've got Under Night. Haven't played either of those games. Oh no, I've played that one on the actual. I used to have this on the actual handheld. Under Night I haven't played. Alright, so we go to the next selection. We've got FPSs. Alright, so I'll go through them. So we've got Call of Juarez, Gunslinger. I haven't played that one. I've played some of the other games. Counter-Strike 2, I haven't played it. I've played the original, I just haven't played it. Destiny 2, that for me didn't perform very well at some point. I know loads of people that have multiple hours into Destiny. I mean, you just say, my internet has now improved, because I remember getting booted out of a raid before when we were winning. Anyway, I'll get back to it at some point. You've got Half-Life. I haven't played this edition. I've got physical editions of most of the original Half-Life games. Anyway, Half-Life all-time classic. Most of the games in this bit are going to be Half-Life. Or Halo Infinite. That also doesn't work very well for me on the PC. I have no idea what's wrong with Halo Infinite, and I've tried it many times, and it doesn't seem to work very well. I don't know what it is about it. I mean, it's annoying. I might have to play it on my console. And we've got Metro Complete Edition. I've got that's Last Light, that one. So I've played that on another platform. We've got Paladins, which is like it's a hero shooter. So that's one version of it, and then you've got the Paladins Public Portal, one of the best games ever made. It's like an FPS puzzle game. It's not really really inverted commas a shooter. And then we've got its sequel, Portal 2. I haven't played Portal 2, I've only played Portal 1. And these are all the Portal mods you can get. So this Portal RTX, which means that they've put improved version of Portal. So it's got, this is prelude to the game. It's not it's got RTX adaptation, so it's got improved lighting and stuff. And that's the actual, I think, the full Portal with RTX. Realm Royal, which is like a, what's it, like, it's an FPS. Oh, it's like Fortnite. It's basically a Battle Royale kind of game. So that's Realm Royal. And then we've got Vermintide set in the Warhammer universe. That's a pretty good game. Haven't played it recently. We've played it with friends. That's pretty good. Alright, so now we go into the MOBA. I'm not a huge MOBA person personally. I don't play that many of them. I feel the community in a lot of them are quite toxic. The one I play most is controversially is Pokemon Unite on the Switch. I have lots of hours on that game. Anyway, Smite I feel is quite good as well, and it's done in a slightly different person, so it's not more like it's got more like a different kind of viewpoint compared to what the other ones. I've tried stuff like League of Legends and Dota as well. I mean, I play League occasionally, but like that one. Anyway, that's my. It's got the pantheon of the game is various gods mostly, but they are things that aren't particularly gods in it, and they say anyway. I quite like gods and stuff and like mythology and that. If you like that, you might like that. I try Smite. Right, now we go into the monster tamer category, which I have quite a lot of because I've been showing off my monster taming games, and I'm also going to do. I got a GB operator, which is a way to show various Game Boy games going back to all generations. So it will enable me to show gameplay from Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. Yeah, so all the Game Boy games. So then we'll scroll through them. So we've got a door. So a door is basically a cross between a monster tamer and a Diablo. So it's basically what happens because you basically capture various different creatures and then you go through combat and dungeons in a kind of like a Diablo kind of event. I mean, you say for those that don't who 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 want to see more monster taming content, I recommend it's Monster Tamer Ed on YouTube. So check him out if you want to see more content on that kind of thing. Cassette Beast. So that's basically a Pokemon like other ones. It's quite interesting. There's lots of different stuff going on. The artwork's great. It reminds me of early like Gen 3 Game Boy games, I would say. I mean, that's Cassette Beast. It's got an additional piece of content, and I believe you're going to be able to trade online as well soon, which wasn't on the last time I played it. Then we've got Coromon. That's got another. So that's similar in style to a GBA game again. It's got new content just came out. Then we've got Digimon Stories Cyber Sleuth. I believe that's 2 games on it. I can't see. I've played it. That's Monster Hunter game. I already showed that. Monster Sanctuary. So Monster Sanctuary is worth explaining a bit more about. It's Pokemon meets a Metroidvania thing because you have an overworld and you basically explore and do various things. You obviously use your monsters and stuff, and there's the combat in there as well. So that's Monster Sanctuary. That's worth playing. Moonstone Island, we've already been through that. We've got Nexamon and Nexamon Extinction. Those are more Pokemon likes. We've got Oaken, I already showed you that. We've got Patch Quest. So Patch Quest is worth explaining. Patch Quest is like what meets a Pokemon meets a twin stick style of shooter. So it's a cross between those two. It's actually quite difficult. There's some exploration and Metroidvania like things as well. Anyway, that's Patch Quest. You've got Temtem, which is like an MMO kind of thing, RPG. There's also a free to play version, which is just like the monster battling bits separately as well. Alright, now we'll go to the roguelikes. I am for an hour on this video. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully you're still with me. Alright, we'll go through them. Alright, roguelikes. Arcanum already been through. We've been through. I'm only going to pause on them if I haven't been through. So Binding of Isaac. So that's like brutally hard. That's more like a bullet hell style shooter bit, but it's got like roguelike elements as you gain various progression bits as you go through. So it's Binding of Isaac. Bomber Crew, don't really know much about it. Crypt of the Necrodancer, so that's like it's kind of like a Zelda-like kind of game, but it's got like a music kind of focus as well because you have to move to the beat of the music. Anyway, it's interesting. I picked it up in the sale. It wasn't very expensive. I haven't played it much. What are people's play percentages of their Steam libraries as well? I'd be curious to know. Let me know in the comments. Cryptarch, don't know much about it. It was probably free. Someone Cult of the Lamb, that's a very good like thing. So that's like what's that more similar to? It's Cimmerian styles to. It's a bit like Hades or something like that. I'm sure we'll see Hades in a minute. It's in here somewhere. Curse of the Dead Gods, similar to Hades. Darkest Dungeon, so that's that's one of the hardest of that kind of style of game. Darkest Dungeon is really, really hard. I mean, it's Dead Cells. Defend the Rook, picked that up recently on the store. It's got like a chess kind of vibe to it. Desktop Dungeons and Desktop Dungeon Rewind. Despontism. Slay the Spy Downfall. So that got a breach recently. So that they had a problem with the game and there were some issues with it. Anyway, they've been fixed now. I recommend Slay the Spy Downfall, even if you've never heard of the thing and played the main game. So this is basically, you get to play as the bosses from the main game effectively. I'd recommend playing the main game first, but they say if you're looking for something different in the Slay the Spy universe, Slay the Spy Downfall. It was made by fans and it's available in the mods section for the game and it's free. Dungeon 100, already been into it. Dungeon the Endless, haven't really played it. Enter the Gungeon, so it's a bullet hell shooter roguelike. Force Showdown, already seen it. Hades, that's one of the best of that kind of genre of action roguelikes. The sequel's also coming out this year. Hero Siege, that's kind of retro style Diablo kind of shooter, not like action RPG, I was more to describe it. Iritus, so that's kind of another similar in style to like stuff like Darkest Dungeon. Other than you basically it's got harkens back to Dungeon Keeper, the classical, the bullfrog kind of game, because you basically recruit various monsters and summon them, and they basically build your dungeon. And this is also Legend of the Keepers, that reminds me of that game as well. So in this game, you play as the villains, and they're basically, the aim is to stop the heroes invading your dungeon. So that's the game and the demo thing. Lost Castle, so that's an action game in the fantasy universe with some roguelike elements. Been through those. Round God, so that's another game similar to Peglin with a slightly different vibe to it. Been through those. Then we go for RPGs. So we got Ark, Survival of the Fittest, Baldur's Gate. I haven't played it as much as some people yet. I mean, I like D&D, but like it didn't really stick with me that much. I mean, you know, it's a bit slow to get started. I know it's most people's game of the year, inverted commas. I'll get round to it at some point. I've just got a lot of games, and when you say I don't only play games on PC and Steam, I have lots of other platforms I play. I play some more retro ones as well. Anyway, I'll get back to Baldur's Gate at some point. Bastion, Beholder, Black Desert, Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl's one of my favourite actual tabletop games. I haven't played this version very much, but I think Blood Bowl 3 just came out as well. Got Blood Bowl Death Zone. We've got Castle Crashers, action. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's fine. It runs fine now. I haven't got around to finishing it. The expansion has come out as well, and when you say I'll play it again at some point, it performs fine now. Darksiders Genesis. Elden Ring. Obviously, I do like Elden Ring, but you have to be in the mood to play it. It looks fine, it performs fine. You just have to be in the mood for it. Forced, so that's one of the games in the Forced universe. Forced Showdown and Mini Masters. Gems of War. So that was one. I think that was one of my highest played games on Steam at one point, and I haven't played it for. It's similar in style to what's the old game? It's like I can't remember. It's a GB game. Right. Graveyard Keeper. Hogwarts Legacy. So yes, okay. So Hogwarts Legacy is one of my most played games of last year as well. I mean, so I like Harry Potter. I mean, say if you can forget all the problems about J.K. Rowling, if you can distance it from that, the game is very good. Don't worry, she probably doesn't get much money from it in terms of real estate anyway. Alright, that's Hogwarts Legacy, and it's the best looking Harry Potter game. It looks really good. Although it has now been ported to the Switch, so if you've only got a Switch, you can play it on that as well. Huntsman Winter Cursed, Iritus again, Jagged Alliance, Lost Ark. Haven't played that much recently. It's like a MOBA. Sorry, not a MOBA. MMO. Sorry, I'm getting confused. And it's a bit it is one of my most played of those kind of games. I'm just trying to scroll through them quickly. Path to Exile, haven't played it as much as Diablo. I'd play Diablo more. And Diablo, you can get Diablo. The recent one is now available on Steam, where it wasn't before. So I just got it when it came out. PEMSA, don't remember. Pyre. I think all these games were in a sale. Ruin King. So that's the League of Legends kind of game RPG crossover. It's not bad. The other SteamWorld games, we got SteamWorld Dig, SteamWorld 2. Tell me why. Tiny Tina's. I'm not really sure why. That should probably be an FPS. I'll put it in the FPS section in a minute. That's the mini game and the full game. Titan Quest, Torchlight 2. That's Torchlight 3. Transistor, Warframe, Wildermyth. Witch Wild Hunt, that's one of the best looking games on PC. I haven't got around to finished it. Alright, let's see how many more categories we have. It shouldn't be too many. Alright, we've got the shmups. I've got lots of shmups. I'll go through them briefly. Adventures of 10 until Aka Aka R, so that's more a traditional kind of, that's more like a twin stick shooter. It's by Jeff Minter. They're doing a Jeff Minter collection coming out soon. Alternate Second, Batsugan. So that I got recently. So that's on the Saturn, based on the Saturn game. Blue Revolver, Calderis Blaze, Crisis Wing, Cryptarch, Darius Burst. I think that's one of the best looking shmups there is. It looks amazing, especially on a higher end PC. It looks amazing. Death Smiles. I've got multiple versions of Death Smiles. I just picked up the Switch 2-pack as well. Delta Zeal, Trizeal, Donpachi, Drones. That's more like a twin stick. That's a twin stick. Eschatos. Exceed. I can't remember. I don't know if these ones are available anymore. I think they might have been removed. Exceed 2. Exceed 3, Exit the Gungeon, Exial, Geometry Wars, Hellsinker, Jets and Guns 2, whatever that one is, it's a Toho game. Judgment Silver Sword, used to be on the WonderSwan, Kamui, Night Witch, -0, Mushi-sama, Natsuki Chronicles, Raiden Overkill, we got Raiden Legacy, Reflex, Refrain, Shmup Skill Test. That one's quite interesting. It's like a similar style to like WarioWare kind of thing. All the things are divided into bite-sized kind of segments, and you test your skills. It's interesting. Sinmura, Skyforce. I've had the first time I got that game was on the TV, and now I've got this version. That's the sequel, Skyforce Reloaded. Steel Vampire, Tempest 4000. Picked that up recently in the sale. It basically just looks like a better version of Tempest. It's not. It looks amazing. It could look really good in VR as well, but the resolution on it doesn't go that high compared to some of the games. We've got Trizeal, we've got Twinkle Star Spirit Brights. That was originally a Neo Geo game. We've got Exial, Zero Ranger, another Toho game. Alright, my next category is Sync. So these are all games that date back to the Neo Geo. So we've got various ones I've already shown you. We've got the 40th Anniversary Sync Collection. Got Metal Slug 2, 3, and X. We've got Shock Troopers. That's a good game. That's similar in style to that's like a run and gun. It's similar in style to like Ikari Warriors or Commando or stuff like that. If you know that, it's quite hard though. Right, so we don't really need to dwell on those. Then we got some Souls likes. We've got Blasphemous, got Dead Cells and Elden Ring, and then got some other uncategorized games. These are mainly going to be things I picked up in the sale. 12 is Backpacks and Battles. So that's a demo that's currently in early access. So this one's worth explaining. Remember, Raron, for those that know, Raron's another YouTuber. He did a video on this game relatively recently. It's basically a cross between a auto chess game and a kind of like a Tetris kind of puzzle, because you have basically you have to fit your items into a backpack, and you also have various other aspects in that. I recommend Backpack Battles. It's still in early access anyway, so you can look at Chenso Club. Don't really know about Crumble, Dear Esther, DJ Max Respect. So this is the thing. This is a rhythm action game. This is available. So I'm based in Europe. I'm based in the UK. Currently in the sale, this game, the base game, bear in mind just the base game, is around £6. If you want to get the thing with all the expansions and everything, it's really expensive. It's like 100 and something. Anyway, if you like music, I'd recommend it. We've got Field of Glory, Figment, Hotline Miami. These are kind of retro style, so these are a bit like GTA and the original GTA games in a 2D kind of vein. I don't have any time on these ones, but I've played them on the Vita. Hue, Impesato, just out natural. Some of these are like point and clicks. Mafia, the original. Manadagon, Ninja Stealth, Pole, Press Any Button. Project FE, so that's going to be another game that's going to come out soon. It's by the Beta Dwarf that do Minion Masters and stuff like that. It's just best described as it's going to be a bit like a MOBA, kind of, but with a kind of what's that? How best way to describe it? Oh, just look up Project FE, or you'll find videos for it. Anyway, I'll be playing that when it comes out properly. Republic VR. Yeah, I've got VR games. I don't have VR headset yet. I want to get a VR headset. I haven't got around to one. Whether I get the PSVR 2 or like the PC one, I'm not sure. Resonance of the Ocean. Sega Base Fishing. I've got this in physical form on the thing. It used to come with like a rod controller. Anyway, that's Sega Base Fishing. Sludge Life, a train simulator, a Warhammer game. I do like Warhammer. We Were Here, Expeditions, and Yoko's Island Express. That's a cross between a platform game and a pinball game. Alright, that's my entire Steam library. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. And when you say, look, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I keep on doing the videos like this. So this is only going to be the first one in my digital collection series. Needless to say, I'll do some more at some point. I'm going to work out how I can show my other ones. I only say the other game stores on the PC are available. Just Steam is the most used. There's also stuff like the Epic Game Store, which is good for free games, especially. They do free games every week. Steam don't give away as much content. And there's also other ones like GOG and various other ones. Anyway, say thanks very much for watching. And then you say, if you like this video, don't forget to check out my other content. I'm going to do various other gameplay videos. I'm going to do things focused on my physical collection. I do my various video game pickup series, and I also do various other videos and MTG content as well. Alright, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much. Bye.